Hello and welcome back to EFD, where today we'll give you 10 players who we think should hang up their boots for good. Let's get straight into it. 10. Peter Cech. Although he was once arguably the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, Peter Cech is now a shadow of his former self. The 36-year-old made a shocking transfer in 2015 when he joined the Gunners from their near rivals Chelsea. Some Blues fans were confused at his transfer as he had been a servant at the club for 11 years, but his form following the move will definitely leave them thankful that he moved on. The 6'5" keeper has conceded 132 goals while being at Arsenal, and in the 17-18 season, he conceded a career high of 52 goals in all competitions. And for a keeper that holds the record of the most clean sheets in the Premier League with 201, it is clear his standard has dropped incredibly. Cech has had a fantastic career, winning 14 trophies with both Arsenal and Chelsea, and it is quite obvious his legs have given up on him. The Gunners seem to be aware of this, splashing £20 million on German keeper Bernd Leno. However, at the start of the season, Emery has opted to start with the former Czech Republic international, confusing a lot of the Arsenal faithful. In the opening 2 games, he has conceded 5 goals and the Gunners have lost both games, with Cech looking uncomfortable with the ball at his feet. And this is a crucial aspect needed to succeed in Emery's system. If this isn't a sign for him to hang up his boots, we don't know what is. 9. Samir Nasri. Samir Nasri has had a topsy-turvy career since controversially leaving Arsenal for Manchester City in 2011, where he ended up winning 2 league titles. The Frenchman once upon a time was compared to France icon Zidane for his close control and vision. After 2 winners' medals, he became a squad player with the likes of David Silva, Yaya Toure and Kevin De Bruyne freezing him out. Trouble has always followed him throughout his career. Mancini once said he wanted to punch him for failing to live up to his potential, and Guardiola said his skill level was on another level. But due to his petulance and arrogance, he was released in 2017 to Turkish club Antalyaspor. Now 31, the centre midfielder has taken another knock to his career. After making just 8 appearances for Antalyaspor, he has received a doping ban for using a drip treatment at Los Angeles clinic. The original duration of the ban was 6 months, but due to a failed appeal by the Frenchman, he was hit with another additional 12 months. By the time it finishes, Nasri will be 33, and with his poor history of attitude problems on and off the field, we struggled to see him returning back to the top level again. 8. David Villa. The Spaniard has had an illustrious career for club and country and became one of the most feared strikers in the world. He was the top goalscorer at the 2008 Euros and the Silver Boot winner in the 2010 World Cup, which Spain both won. If things couldn't get any better, he then moved to Barcelona, where he won a total of 8 trophies, including the 2011 Champions League, where he scored in the final. Just a year after his final stint in Catalonia, Villa ended up in the Big Apple for New York City in 2014. He quickly became a club hero for the Pigeons, winning the MLS MVP award and becoming the first player in MLS history to score 20 goals in back-to-back seasons. He became the model of consistency, missing only 9 of the 102 matches the club played in his 3 years there. However, now 36, David Villa's time of having an incredible engine and work rate is coming to an end. He was struck with a knee injury at the beginning of the season, and although it did not look serious, the forward has missed 5 consecutive games for the first time in New York. According to reports, due to his injury, the Bronx Blues are reluctant to renew the Spaniard's contract, and if they don't, it is unlikely Villa will be able to find a home at his age. 7. Cattermole. Cattermole once epitomised everything Sunderland stood for. He was a rugged, hard-hitting defensive midfielder who has been at the club since 2009. He was selected as club captain in 2010, and in his first game he received a red card, giving an indication of what the Black Cats were in for. During his tenure at Sunderland, he received 109 yellow cards, and he has been sent off 9 times. Being a loose cannon on the pitch eventually cost him the captaincy after getting banned for unsportsmanlike conduct in 2013 in the Tyne-Wear derby. Now 30 years old, the Englishman has gone from cult hero to villain in a matter of months. The Black Cats fans have completely turned on him following a series of woeful displays which contributed to Sunderland being relegated twice in a row. He's now a shadow of his former aggressive style of play. He is now known for his weak and mistimed challenges. The Stadium of Light now have new owners and a fresh flock of new young players who have given the Black Cats a new sense of life. With the likes of Lamine Kone and Jack Rodway leaving, it's only a matter of time till Cattermole leaves Sunderland for good, and we don't really see his style of play fitting in anywhere else. 6. Wesley Sneijder. Netherlands' most capped player Wesley Sneijder has had an incredible career for club and country. He was instrumental in Jose Mourinho's treble-winning Inter Milan side, and also the Netherlands side that made the World Cup final in the same year. He finished 4th in the Ballon d'Or as a result, with some thinking he deserved to win the accolade. At the height of his career, Sneijder was one of the most in-demand midfielders in football, and he rejected a move to some of the biggest clubs in the world, including Manchester United and Liverpool. The 34-year-old was never the same after the 2010 World Cup. Inter Milan entered their post-Mourinho turmoil, which saw him leave to Galatasaray in 2013. He won 3 titles and 3 domestic cups during his stint in Turkey, but it was a far cry from his heights he had hit a few years prior. He is now plying his trade for Qatar Star League club Al Gharafa, and although they have won the league 7 times, the last time being in 2010, we get the feeling that the central midfielder is just looking for his last paycheck before he hangs up his boots for good. 5. Joe Cole. 3-time Premier League winner Joe Cole has never been the same since leaving Chelsea in 2010. He failed to make an impact at Liverpool, West Ham and Aston Villa, although he did enjoy a decent loan spell at Lille in 2011. The former England wide man dipped into League 2 in 2014, but only recorded 22 appearances in 2 seasons at Coventry due to persistent injuries, something that has plagued him throughout his career. Now 36, Cole is playing in the second tier of American football for Tampa Bay Rowdies, but his poor form has followed him as he has struggled to find his feet in a much less competitive league. Mainly remembered for his famous goal against Sweden at the 2006 World Cup, Cole can only reminisce on the highlights of his career. And although he's still playing, he is now the assistant manager of the Rowdies, indicating the Englishman is well aware that he may finally be past it. 4. Jack Wilshere. Jack Wilshere was once the future of the English midfield, but multiple injuries prohibited him from reaching his full potential. As soon as their new manager, Unai Emery, came in, he suggested the Englishman was surplus to requirements, and to be honest, we see why. Whilst at the Emirates, he was sidelined for 886 days, missing a total of 152 games in all competitions. During his spell at Arsenal, he had a season-long loan at Bournemouth, and although it started well with the midfielder winning the Player of the Month for the first 2 months, he was again hit with a big injury. He suffered a hairline fracture to his left fibula in April, and it ruled him out for the rest of his time in the South Coast. He is now at his boyhood club West Ham, after being signed by Manuel Pellegrini in the summer. And although he is just 26, we believe it's just a matter of time before Wilshere is struck with yet another injury. Let's hope his form at the Hammers isn't like his time at the Emirates. 3. Shola Ameobi. Shola Ameobi spent 14 years at Newcastle and became a legend at the club, mainly for his effective appearances off the bench that saw him become the second most used substitute in the Premier League. He only scored 53 goals in over 300 appearances for the Magpies, playing second fiddle to hometown hero Alan Shearer. Ameobi eventually parted ways with the Tyneside club and has never really found a home since. He has had spells at 6 clubs including Crystal Palace, Bolton Wanderers, but only managed to score 17 goals. He went on to sign for Notts County in 2017, where he recorded 10 goals and 54 appearances before former teammate Nolan, his manager at the time, released him at the end of the season. Harsh. Now the 36-year-old is without a club, and with his form in his latter years, we feel he will struggle to find a new home. With a few appearances as a pundit on shows such as Match of the Day, we suggest he looks for more of a permanent role there. 2. Laurent Koscielny. Laurent Koscielny established himself as a key component in Arsene Wenger's Arsenal side, having a number of brilliant individual performances, including the 2014 FA Cup final, where he scored the crucial equaliser that led to the Gunners' first trophy in 9 years. At 32, the central defender is now one of the most senior players in the dressing room. However, his constant injury woes has kept him from fighting for his place in the new-look Emery side. Since being at Arsenal, he has suffered from 15 serious injuries, which has left him sidelined for over 490 days, with his Achilles heel mimicking the Greek mythology. Koscielny has had to have constant painkillers in the last 2 years in both of his heels, whilst his latest rupture to his Achilles tendon left him out of action during France's World Cup triumph, devastating the 32-year-old as he is unlikely to feature for his country at a World Cup again. Now expected to make his return in 6 months, Koscielny will struggle to make his way back into the side, and he has suggested that he will leave at the end of his contract that ends in 2020. He will be 34 at this stage, and it is likely that the injury-prone centre-back will struggle to find a new club. 1. Didier Drogba. 2-time African Player of the Year and Chelsea legend, Didier Drogba has had a stellar career. He has scored the most goals for an African player in the Premier League with 109 goals and the Champions League with 44. The Ivorian epitomises being a big game player, scoring in a total of 9 goals in cup finals for Chelsea, including his last-minute heroics in the 2012 Champions League final. After leaving Chelsea, the 6'2" striker still managed to win 3 trophies for Turkish club Galatasaray. His twilight years have been spent in North America, spending a year at Montreal Impact, netting 21 goals and 33 appearances for the Canadian outfit. In 2017, he became a player owner for Phoenix Rising, a team that plays in the American Second Division. And although he has scored 14 goals in just 19 appearances, we don't see the Ivorian legend playing past this season, especially as he is now entering his 40s. So that was 10 players that we think should retire. If you have any suggestions, please comment below. And if you like what you see, go check out Continental Club and Stat Wars the Champions. And as always, like and subscribe.